Really enjoyed it. We're still friends today.
But that's 30 odd years ago.
The kaupapa's not changed. It was care for the land, care for the people. And that was it. And there was a thought of setting up an environment centre and encouraging other towns and cities in New Zealand to do the same. We've passed the baton on. Our work is done. The trust was a lifestyle. Like Taranaki Environmental Education Trust was a lifestyle. It was our life. It's what we did. We were considered to be tree-hugging hippies, which there's a degree of truth in that. To bring about change, you need people on the edge. So we took risks. We were ridiculed in some cases. I mean, they thought we were silly. But, you know, now you have Sustainable Taranaki.
These are gifts that I've got from the old trustees to you representing the future. It came about through necessity, really, but also from inspiration. It's you and a group of friends explore your area and compare what is there with what's not there, and then by gap analysis comparison, you can then find out what sustainable things that could be done. So you need to research and workshop and run education programs and develop the product or the service. And then if it's operating in the community, you slowly make the community more resilient. Permaculture, a designer's manual by Bill Mollison. Bill has inspired sustainability all around the planet. This is a bit like a Bible, and it's often referred to as permaculture Bible. The pathway that Taranaki, the mountain, the Maunga, followed, which is the pathway that we got Ray, who was here before. We rode down that river from its mythical source, collecting seeds along the way with the young folk from this area. We got back to Stratford. We created our nurseries to grow the native plants, to plant on the riparians. When we started, it was called the Taranaki Catchment Commission. So one of the most satisfying and amazing times that I have is working with Panamu. And she was employed initially by the trust to run a program called Marakai, with the health board. Papatunuku e mātua o tangata. The earth is the mother of us all. I think the answer lives in the soil. Is very, very true, because the wairua of Taranaki comes from our mountain, our maunga.
I returned to the Trust in 2022 to provide a cultural lens from the board level with an interest in food security and engaging with iwi and hapu. One area that Dan asked me to bring to the board was a bit of cultural competency, a cultural lens within the organisation to look over from a governance perspective as to how we can be the best in that space, to engage with tangata whenua of Taranaki and to be responsive to the changes that are happening in that space. I think it's about our region being more sustainable and being able to work as a community, as a Taranaki rohe. That means we need to step away from some power controls that we may have, not as a trust but also in other organisations as well, to enable others to come through and work in partnership with iwi and hapu to make this work. I think that's the key in the environmental sector, is to include tangata whenua in these spaces and to uplift their voices and their aspirations, because we will benefit from it too.
But there was an opportunity to strengthen our approach to partnering in Te Tiriti. What are the areas that Sustainable Taranaki can occupy that aren't currently being occupied, and how do we just focus our efforts there, developing the relationships that we have to make the changes that we want to make to Taranaki in terms of changing behaviours towards more sustainable activities. We can't do it on our own. Everything we do is woven through with an idea of kaitiakitanga, and that we regard our environmental stewardship as integral to our economic future. Everything we do has with it the question, is it sustainable? Can we keep doing this? Two projects that I would really like to see come to fruition. One is around building a truly resilient food system in Taranaki so that food security just becomes a non-issue. We just know as a region that we have food security and that everyone has access to nutritional, healthy food. Yeah, so if we can encourage people to get out and about on foot, on bicycles, on scooters, human-powered transport, then there are not just really great environmental outcomes, but there are also really strong well-being outcomes as well in terms of health and social connection. We couldn't operate without all of the support that we get from both our own team and then support that comes from outside.